What you talking about, Drop Talk? Hey friends, welcome to Drop Talk on this glorious Suntup release day for Blackwater by Michael McDowell. What a fun thing. I hope you're all checking it out. I hope you had a good time watching me interview John Langan. I hope I didn't insult him, and if I did, I'm sorry. I can't say what I'm going to do a couple days from now, but I'll do my best. I'll tell you that. I'll do my best, which, is pretty low down there. And I did my best in this interview with Marcela Bolivar, who did the artwork. It's amazing artwork. My mind's a little blown in this interview because when she describes her process, I'm just, you got to check it out. You got to hear from her. And I don't know about you, but for me, when I hear from these artists and authors and I see their humanity, it actually makes me appreciate the work even more. So hopefully it has the same effect on you. So she's charming, wonderful, smart, talented. And if you're like me as well, you're drawn into this book just by this artwork alone. It's really amazing. So check it out. About halfway through this interview, I have a brain freeze. So just bear with it. You can hear the modem working as I try to reconnect. It takes a while. But I left it in there so you can all enjoy humans making mistakes. Someday I'll be replaced by AI. And until then, enjoy the mistakes. So watch the interview, buy the book, enjoy the ride, enjoy the train. And I will see you in the comments section where humanity goes, where civilization goes to die. For once, I'm not talking to myself. It's time to go beyond the book and get over your shelf. Hello, Marcela.
Hi.
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 Can you hear me good? Okay.
Yeah.
Hello. Hi. So
Hi,
thank you
Deb.
so much for agreeing to do this. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. The volume's pretty way down. So thank you for joining us. I'm glad you were able to make some time because I'll be posting this video when people are frantically buying the artist edition of this book, and they get a kick out of this. They like to hear about the people who create these books, and because we are total fans of everything. So I just want to admit something up front is I haven't read this book yet.
Okay.
So I heard about it and it became the buzz and everybody was talking about this book and they were speculating this was the August release. And so I started kind of looking for it, but I wasn't serious. And then Paul told me a couple weeks ago that it was for sure going to be Blackwater. So I started hunting frantically and I couldn't find it in any used bookstore. Probably should have gone to Amazon, and so I haven't read it, so I guess this will be a spoiler-free interview. But I gotta say, I saw your work in it, and my God, I really want to read this book now. I mean, yeah, this stuff is so good. Did you read Blackwater before they contacted you?
Not at all, but actually, I had to break it, like in the plot. I have to break it. With the more I had to focus on different elements for each chapter, so it was easier for me. They helped me to like have the most important characters and the most important elements, but I had to also find for myself like the audio version. It helped me a lot because while I'm working I can hear the story, and because it's 1,000 pages long book. So yeah, it's a lot, but it goes so easy because it's such a thrilling story, and it is not a like the typical horror story. So you get into this family, you hear the stories, there are so much characters around, and yeah, I heard the story. I had these elements, these characters in my head. Um, also the landscape was a very, very important thing for me to nail down and to think about the element of water, of the vegetation, of all these natural elements that connect with the characters themselves. And these elements also become characters themselves in the story. So it was very important to me that, but yeah, I had to also search the book for myself and hear it because it's really long.
So so you were creating these works as you were listening to it then?
Yes, yes. Actually, I was between two projects. And while I was doing something else, I was hearing this. And while I was doing chores, I was also listening to it. So I was getting inspired and making sketches all along. So yeah, it
And
was
so
perfect.
how was that process? Did you then send the sketches and they said yes? Or like, how did that
Yeah,
work collaborating?
well, they actually gave me a lot of freedom, which was perfect because this was so inspiring to me and so perfect for me because it has these strong female characters, and I decided to focus on them and Eleanor, Frances, and Nerita. And yeah, I thought about these three women and about the elements and of the water and the jungle and all this southern Gothic elements. And yeah, I got really inspired. So I sent the sketches. I sketched normally in paper and pencil, and then I take the photos. I make a quick sketch in Photoshop, and then I send them to them, and they liked it. And yeah, then I finished the images. It was really easy.
Have you been to the southern US ever? Or
No, unfortunately,
no?
no.
So you were
It's
going off
actually,
you were using the imagery just purely from the book.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it is so well, there are some passages that describe them so well that yeah, it was amazing what McDowell did.
Are you a fan of are you a fan of this type of story? Do you read a lot? Or um
Actually, the Southern Garden, yeah, I know that this genre is super important in North American literature, but I'm not that familiar with that genre. I know like Truman Capote early works that yeah, just lately I found out, oh yeah, this is Southern Gothic, I guess, but yeah,
yeah,
it was.
so who are your favorite authors when you read?
Yeah, I'm very into actually Gothic South American authors like Quiroga, also, yeah, Borges, I really like. Yeah, I'm very much into that.
So you're from South America, but you're now living in Germany?
Yes, I'm living here right now, and after I made my master degree here in photography.
Oh, so cool. In photography?
Yeah.
So so you also do you is that another passion? Like, what do you like better, creating the images or capturing them? Which, I mean, certainly is an art into itself.
Actually, I create images through photography. So everything you see in my portfolio is photos and painting. It's a merging of all of these techniques.
Oh, that
And I also paint traditionally, and I scan my textures, and all is a mixture of that. Yeah.
wow. So you're multilingual in visual arts. I mean, that how does that work? So talk about your process. Like, do you have a model then sit in and you take the person's picture?
Yeah, I normally take pictures of people that I know. I'm not so much into contacting models or so, but I also don't like pictures that has like that have like a recognizable character in them. So I really like the human figure, especially female figures, for my images as like an anonymous character in them. So I take the pictures, I take like great care into the lighting and stuff, and then I pick which pictures I really like. And I already have a really vast archive of my own stock photos that I've taken in trips or so, of places, of plants, of different elements, and I pick something from that, and then I merged it all together.
That is so cool. That because I know you define yourself as a digital artist, and we've had a few others. We had Francois Villancourt, and we had John Anthony Di Giovanni, who also work in the digital space. And I mean, I'm such like, I would love to see a video of you creating, or a digital artist creating this work, because it's so foreign to me. Because I understand photography, I understand oils and canvas and sketching, but merging the two, is it a relatively new medium?
Not at all. It depends what you think it is new. But actually, I did my master's around photo montage. I mean, photo manipulations and such. And manipulating photos, that has existed since the beginning of photography itself. So yeah, you can see that digital photography as such in the 90s and even in the 80s, I don't know. But since Photoshop became a thing, yeah, it is pretty common to artists to use it, to mix it all together and experiment. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you telling me that these images start with photography kind of blew me away. Because when I've looked at the art, I've seen I think I've seen it all, but the cover, the flood, the fortune, the house, all these images are so haunting and surreal. It is so far removed from my brain of photography, you know, like what I picture. It's amazing. I mean, I'm looking at it on another screen right now, so I'm trying to justify the definition in my head and the input on my screen, and they're not cooperating, because this is so
Actually,
amazing.
it's very funny, because a lot of those photos that I used for this series was done with a lot of photos from Colombian jungle. So I thought it could really help to this southern elements that the book has. So it is it's really a funny mixture of things that I have, like a lot of things from Europe or from Colombia also. Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you focus on this, I mean, the feeling of just being swept away, of being overwhelmed, of you know, being such a tiny part of an environment. I mean, that's the emotion I'm getting. Is I think it, you know, it transcends specific geography, because it's so much emotion in these images that I mean, yeah, they could be anywhere. And so have you illustrated or created images for any other books?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, it's my favorite thing to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, a lot of my portfolio is about that. So I really like to read stories, and that someone has maybe a personal story, or maybe a publisher has a story for me, and they think that I'm the perfect artist for that. And yeah, that is really cool to look into and to be inspired by things that you never thought of. And yeah, always be surprised by the imagination also of the writers themselves. So yeah, that's really what I can call a collaboration. Yeah.
So did you know about Suntup before they approached you to do this?
Actually, yeah. There's a very there's a very like an artist that I really admire, that is Vanessa Lehman. I think that's how you pronounce her name. And she published it. She did this series for A Scanner Darkly, and
Okay.
I was amazed by her work and what she did for this book. And then I saw, oh yeah, I would love to work with them. And then in January they wrote to me, and I was, oh my God, yeah,
Wow.
absolutely, yeah, yeah,
Wow.
actually,
Yeah, I have A Scanner Darkly right here. Oh, I'm gonna knock everything over. And yes, it is.
Oh yeah, it's freaking beautiful. Yeah,
Isn't it? I mean,
amazing.
and I know she's also a digital artist as well. And I
Amazing.
was, we had pretty much just started doing these interviews about the book.
Oh yeah, amazing. Yeah.
And and so I didn't get a chance to talk to her about it, but I mean, I don't know. It's so awesome. It reminds
Yeah.
me of, I don't know if you're familiar with him, Dave McKean's work.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
I don't know. Like I'm such a, I don't know who artists know all that, but he's a big name for me. And
Of
so,
course, yeah. He
yeah.
has inspired me since I was a child.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
so that's what reminded, that work reminded me of that. Your work, it feels so different. I can't, so I would define it as like haunting. How would you define your work?
Well, that's a good adjective. um, I don't know. I really like the natural elements to be characters themselves in my pictures. That's why I paid so much attention to detail, to plants and yeah, elements as water and such. And I think that's why they contacted me also, because yeah, you can see in McDowell novel, it is completely that the river is itself a character there. So yeah, I would say that my work is yeah, a combination of something surreal and dark and like a memory or a dream, or yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
It's it's really, like I said at the outset, I haven't read the book before. A lot of raves about the book. There are a lot of people familiar with Michael McDowell. I've never read anything by him, but when I saw these images, I'm like so intrigued. Even if I just had that to go by, I would be really pulled into this book. I'm worried that now it's going to flavor my reading. Like I'm somebody that likes to
Okay.
discover the work, um, and separate, because the book is separate, your art is separate, and I'm appreciating this now. And you might make me enjoy this book even more than I would have. Is all I'm
I
saying.
hope so.
I'll be spoiled with this experience. So, um, uh, I think I've asked all my questions, and I'm kind of now on uncharted territory. So that's why
This
I'm glad.
one would be live, right? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, if it was live, see, the advantage of that is we have many brilliant members
Yeah,
of the Facebook group who would be
I
asking the
know.
questions right now. So
Yeah.
I'd be spoiled because they ask such better questions. Of course, they're sitting back there and they're cozy, and
Yeah.
they have the freedom to be thinking up questions ahead of time.
And is it the first time that you interview an artist for a release, or?
No. I interviewed Jody Fallon, who did a Magica, and Patrick Burke, who's also the artist and author of Guests, and then John Anthony DiGiovanni, who did Jaws. So
Oh, that was amazing. That series was really cool.
yeah. No, and
I mean, the images, yeah.
I had the also the advantage of having just finished the book that morning, so I was able to see the images as I was reading the book, and so I had a more informed opinion, because I would love to know more about this book. Just didn't come together as quickly as I'd like, but So
Good thing is that you can edit this. I don't know.
oh my gosh, if
If you
yes,
feel like
yes, I'll definitely maybe chop it up, but I also like to get an authentic experience.
yeah, it's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Um, so yeah, anything you'd like to say about the book? Like, is there anything that was in this process, something that was different for you? I mean, it doesn't have to be, but you know what I mean? Like, is there anything about this experience that was unexpected?
Well, first, the experience was amazing because of the freedom that they gave you, like the total trust in your vision. That's so important to me. Like, you can do whatever you like. I mean, what you envision this to be. Of course, there are elements and things that are important to illustrate and make clear. But other than that, that was amazing because as I was listening to the book and reading the plot, I was getting all these images in my head that I actually have many sketches that I say that maybe I will do later because of the inspiration that I got. And it was so close to my own ideas that I would do for myself that, yeah, I think that I will make them later. And yeah, I always love to collaborate with this kind of independent editorials and that put so much care into what they release, and it is so important for them to have like a special kind of art object linked to these stories. So it is an honor always like to have that as an object and yeah, of collection.
You know, the other artists I've talked to that worked with Suntup said the same thing about the freedom.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, absolutely.
is
It's
that
everything.
rare? I mean, do you usually get a lot of control? Yeah.
Yeah, that is very rare. I mean, when I work with independent editorials, yeah, it is normal. They give you a lot of freedom. But with large publishers, you have to understand that there are a lot of voices and a lot of opinions because they have this marketing department, they have this art directors and the editor, and yeah, and so there is not much freedom in that. It's cool. It's also not a problem. It's part of the job. But yeah, it is nothing like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I worked at a marketing firm for 14 years as a writer, and our clients, I always said, this is the little thing when as a writer and sitting with the graphic designer, coming up with these very very pedestrian marketing material, like we'd be talked down by the client. And I always used to say that they first get our best and then they get the rest, because we give them our best shot first. I mean, we really, when we get a new project, we like really believing in it and we go gung-ho, we sketch out all these brilliant ideas. And then when we do that first presentation, it's with fear, vulnerability, but also a sense of pride, like we really got you. And then they start nitpicking, they start drilling it down, and then we make something very plain. So I've no wonder, there's no doubt why Suntup books have such great art, because because they let the artists create, I mean, you'll give them the best.
Yeah, absolutely. At the first shot, I mean, it's not like you don't think about it or don't plan something out, but yeah, you give it all and you have the freedom. They trust your vision. So yeah, that's everything. So yeah, not to talk down the big publishers and such, but yeah, it's a lot sometimes. Sometimes everything goes well, but yeah.
Right.
There
It
are
all
the yeah.
all depends on the team. I think, I've never seen any piece of art go into a group and come out better. It's so different.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's kind of hard. Yeah. Yeah, it's a watered down version of what could be, maybe. Yeah.
Right. So somebody who's familiar with the book might say, well, why don't you include this in there? Or why don't you? And then the focus gets spread out. It's not centered on this emotion. Like I'm looking right now at the flood, this woman on her back, and it looks like there's snakes covering her. Just, you can't add anything. You can't, I mean, you would lose it. You would lose the wow. I mean, just, it's just a powerful image. And
That was so cool to make. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, so this was a great experience for me to hear from you. I would suggest, if you can, get on Facebook and join the group if you can.
Yeah,
So
I can. Yeah.
Zuckerberg will probably take all your information and sell it to somebody, but just for a day,
Yeah.
just to see the release day, and get a kick out of it, because I know the fans go wild. But they would hate if I didn't ask this question. So we ask all the artists if you'd be open to doing remarks. And do you know what a remark is?
No.
Oh, see, not everybody knows this, not even artists.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, when you get a signed edition by an author, they just write their name in it. But when you can get a remark from an artist, is a remark is a Chris Webster, who's the creator of the group, would define it better. But it's an original drawing that the artist puts directly in the book. So you would, let me show you one. So Jason Mowry did Red Dragon, and it's a absolute favorite book of mine. I love this book. And so he agreed to do remarks for a limited number of people, and I sent my book to him through the mail, and he drew an original piece right in the book.
Amazing. Oh,
so
great.
I would be terrified, but I'm not an artist, of drawing in someone's book. And especially if you're in Germany, it can be kind of pricey for somebody in the States
Yeah.
to back and forth. So what you could do is just draw on acid-free paper, and they could tip it in the book themselves. That's an option. So it's totally fine. Not every artist does it. In fact, not many do, but
Yeah.
it's a question we ask. You don't have to commit to it now, because definitely, I know you're pursuing a graduate degree, a master's degree, and you're leading a career. So I imagine you have a lot going on. But if you're open
I
to,
already finished my master's, but yeah.
oh, you did?
Yeah. The last year.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I thought you were saying that you were in Germany to complete it.
Oh, no. I finished it and I decided to stay here. So, yeah.
How is it in Germany? Being
It's
from
great.
Yeah.
I love it here. Yeah. It's really cool.
I've never been. The only time I left the States was to go to Ireland, which was like a suburb
Cool.
of America. It's not a complicated country for me. So do you speak German, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I speak. Yeah, well. Yeah, I actually did my master's in German, so yeah, I have to.
Oh my gosh. Are you good? Do you don't feel comfortable?
I was actually good, but if you stop speaking, yeah, you get like a little rusty here and there.
Oh, sure.
I try my best to always hear the news and to write in German and speaking to my friends or so, but yeah.
How long have you been there? Just a year? No.
No. Like 4 years already.
Yeah.
No.
That's so how many languages do you speak?
Well, actually, I was born in Brazil, so that was my first language. Then my parents moved to Colombia. I'm from Colombia, actually. My parents are Colombian. So then Spanish, and yeah, of course, English, and then German, which, yeah, someday I will have in my in my control, but not for now.
Yeah, my only familiarity with the German language is Rammstein. That
Yeah, that's a good beginning. Yeah, that's a good point of entry. Yeah.
I get it. I love their stuff. But I had when I was growing up, my doctor I'd go to every year for checkups and stuff. He spoke French, German. He was a World War II pilot.
Wow.
And I have German heritage. My grandfather was 100% German. And so I said, when I go to learn a language, I want to learn German. And he's like, you're never going to use it. Like in the States, he goes, if you go to Wisconsin, maybe you'll use German once in a while. So I took Spanish and I did okay with it, but yeah, I haven't used it. So
not your thing.
No, it's
got I always had that feeling too. If I learn another language, it has to be German. I don't know why. I think I like how it sounds, and I like tough languages.
Oh my gosh, it's very masculine and very. It sounds like you're angry, and it's all consonants. Like there's how I don't think I'm not smart enough for German, but it's just like you're growling at somebody. I need to be a wolf. I don't know.
Some things you have to pull from here. So it's very
yeah.
You have to do it.
I know. I can't though. So well, thank you for bearing with me through my brain freeze. Thank you for sticking it out. I'm not even gonna edit it out. I think
No.
I can only write down so many questions, and you answered every single one of them powerfully to the point. That sometimes a discussion doesn't have to take 2 hours to get the information. I mean, it's, and I think your art speaks for itself. And I'm trying to also think when this goes live, I think people will just be, just be in a purchasing mood and just going crazy, but they'll watch this later. And I think it's always great. And I always appreciate a work more after I talk to the people who created it.
Absolutely.
The humans, because it's such a human thing. It's a human thing to read these books. It's human to connect with the art, and this conversation all builds on that experience. So I totally appreciate you carving out some time. What time is it there in Germany, by the way?
It is 6:30.
Oh, that's not bad. 6:30. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. All right. Because I had no idea. I'm
18:30.
Well, I'm glad you got to practice. So, all right. Well, thank you so much. I look forward to getting my copies. And
I just have one question though.
Oh yeah.
In this day, all the images will be out with the. Okay, cool.
Yeah. No. So what happens is in 3 days, on Thursday, on Wednesday, Paul goes live on Facebook and teases the book, and he won't say what the book is. He'll just say, oh yeah, tomorrow it's coming out. It's a great book. Almost everybody has guessed it's Blackwater just based on the previous, but he won't admit it. He won't say it's Blackwater. He won't confirm anything. And then Thursday morning, the book will go live, and people who own the numbered edition will have a chance. People who own the previous numbered edition will have a chance to get this one, but everybody can get a chance to buy the artist edition. So they'll be on the product page. They'll be looking at the art. They'll be sounding off in the Facebook group to talk about it. And I'll post this interview. I'm also talking to John Langan, who wrote the afterword.
Great.
So I'll be talking to him live at that time. So when the book goes live, I'll be talking to him. And then after that, I'll post this interview, which is funny because I'm talking about it now, but when this posts, this has already happened. So it's like time travel for people. So yeah, and they'll see the art, and that's why I encourage you to check it out. And if you're open to remarks, just post that in the group and say, yeah, I'll do 50, 100 remarks. You set the price. If you need to talk to me privately about what people have set it at, that's entirely up to you, how much you would charge per piece. But anyway, those are the details. People would love it. And I don't see I think people will be raving about this work, because the people in this group, they love reading, but they love what Suntup does, and they love these small publishers and the art. They really love focusing on both elements because it is a complete package. So
Yeah.
I encourage you to do that, and I can't thank you enough. And good luck with your German.
Thank you.
Your English is great, so I can only speak to that. So I love your work. So thank you so much, and
Thank you, Jeff.
hope to see you in the group.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.